What's good? Welcome to the Yellow Card Podcast. I'm your host, Menace.
Yo, co-host, JB. What it do, my guys?
Good, man.
Yo, it's been a minute.
Bro, oh my goodness, your hands are sweaty.
Yeah.
Starting off strong.
Yeah, my palms are disgustingly sweaty. I don't know why. It's been like that since I was a kid. And I have gotten so many comments on it throughout the years. The funniest one was I was at the gym, and my girl used to work at a gym, so she was talking to one of her coworkers, introduced me, dab up the coworker. I just finished benching. She looks at me, she goes, first thing, yo, I'm not gonna lie, your hand felt like a damp towelette. And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong. Like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. So I actually also had that problem, but I don't know. Like my body, I train my body to just do what I want it to do. So right now during quarantine,
like a monk.
Yeah, like low key, like a monk. Like I'll just put my body through the same thing for a long period of time, so it'll get used to it. Like so, for example, like I won't eat that much, and then I'll cut, and then when I'm getting back into eating, before I even start lifting, I can just eat whatever I want and I won't gain any weight. Like my body will, even though I have slowed my metabolism down so much by not eating, if I did start eating before I did that, my body would honestly still burn it. I wouldn't be able to eat as much, but I could fill my stomach up and it would burn the whole thing. So that's just what my body is trained to do. My metabolism is just stupid high regardless of what state I'm in. So what were we talking about before this? Because I was talking about training my body or training to do stuff, but it had nothing to do with that.
Baseball and zombies?
No, but it was after that because you were just talking about what the fuck, fucking tangents, man.
Running this back.
Fuck, I'm not because I remember fuck, man, dang,
Yellow card.
Clammy hands.
Yellow card.
Clammy hands. Yeah, yellow card.
Yellow
card on me. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yellow card.
Clammy hands. So adaptation. I don't know what happened, but I stopped having that issue. But I first noticed in church when you have to pray with a bunch of people. I was always so conscious, self-conscious, because I had to hold two people's hands.
I didn't hold hands in church.
You're
I feel like we didn't have to.
What about the peace be with you?
See, the peace be with you. That got me.
Peace be with you.
And with your spirit. Yo,
yeah, and then, you touch a lot of hands.
Let me tell you, when I was a kid,
yeah,
that was an issue for me. Mm-hmm. I would put my hand purposefully on my whatever pants I'm wearing and keep them there so that I get all the soaked out. I'm my hands are gonna be dry as all hell.
Did you ever wear and put your hands on it and move your hands and it was damn handprints?
No, but let me tell you, my hands have been very sweaty at times to the point where so I have this really weird habit. When I would be in school, I would write on my laptop. Okay. With pencil.
Okay.
So
would you erase it already?
I would. My hands were sweaty enough where I could just put my hand to the laptop surface face. Yeah. And the graphite would just wipe off.
Yeah. No.
That's how sweaty. That's how my hands were that wet.
Bro, that might be adaptation. Maybe you're the next level of human.
I don't know why, but I can catch a ball easy because of it. I promise you that. It's not wet to the point where it softens it.
Maybe it's you're a different type of human.
Hands.
We have different there are different levels, and it's you're just a clammy hands human, and I'm an ex clammy hands human. Bro, I wonder I really want to know how evolution works and if it can happen within a lifespan. Can you evolve and adapt within a lifespan? You're saying no, but technically what we can do with our bodies, yes. You can make your body adapt to a certain environment or climate. If I was to go live in I don't know, Antarctica for 10 years, my body after 10 years would be adapted to that climate. Going back, if I was to go to LA, it would be warm probably for a year. It's obviously I would adapt to the warm climate much quicker than I adapted to the cold climate, but still I would be in my head used to 10 years of Antarctica because I've adapted to it. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, I see both sides, but I really just, it's interesting to me. As humans, yeah, but what if you're a lion? Can you? I don't think as a lion, or a leopard. If you're a leopard that was in the savannas of Africa, if you put it in the snowy environment, can it just turn into a snow leopard? Like, will its fur start changing? Not only color, but like consistency and what it's used for. Like, is that possible? That's some shit that I'm interested in.
See, so I think that in terms of for us, we can adapt extremely. But that's because our bodies are adaptable when healthy. But I don't think that's an evolution because I don't think that's a change in ability. You know what I mean? It's like you go to like you go to a cold place, you're just mentally, you haven't experienced it. So it's going to take yourself mentally a minute to get over it. But regardless of, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 66 degrees, 43 degrees, or even like if you went to Minnesota and you were at -5, right? Like -5 still gonna be -5, but mentally you're enduring it better. But like that's not evolution. I feel like that's adapting. But
because I want to make a counterpoint to that.
Okay.
So we don't like move too
far.
My counterpoint is like if I'm living there for 10 years, like I'm talking like the cold, wherever you can imagine the cold, and then regular like a society, like you're in a house, I'm talking like you're an Eskimo type shit, like you're used to going outside, like if someone was like, yo, go get some wood, and you didn't want to put your big woolly mammoth coat on, you just go outside bare chested right quick, chop some trees. Like you can't do that, and like we couldn't do that.
See, those people are different though, like, but that's because they have evolved. But like I don't think that's evolution.
But you can get to that point. Like if I was to go live somewhere, like to go to a cold climate and start living there for 10, 25 years, bro, I would evolve, or my body would be at the point where I'm not. Like, I guess it is a mental thing. But like my body is, you definitely can. I think that you
not to their level. I see, and I think that the limitation is a human limitation. Like I think that it would be the next generation. Like if I had a kid,
think that the only limitation is mental.
Okay, I can see that. But that is something that would take so many years to find out, and that's if you survive it. Because if you're going to those extreme conditions, right, and we talking where you're trying to push yourself for your body's able to evolve to this thing, I don't know if it could deal with that type of duress, especially in a cold environment. But in general,
I think you think little of your body.
I think highly of I think that we can do a lot, but to completely evolve, I think that takes time. Like,
what are you saying? Because I feel like you're like hyping this like. Because I don't even think that's evolution. That's just adaptation. You're adapting to whether a cold or a warm environment. Like, okay, so for example, a good example of a counter argument for what I'm saying would be like if you were to put a white person in the Sahara Desert, they wouldn't adapt and like get brown skin.
No, they wouldn't. They die.
But no, they wouldn't die. They would tan. And is that the same thing?
No.
Would you stay tan?
No. If you put a white person in the Sahara Desert and they had like extreme, like they're white, they can get third-degree burns. Like that can be a serious dilemma if they don't cover up.
Saying
that's not. They're not. They live.
Okay, so I think what's going on is like you're imagining like worst case scenario.
Yeah,
like in my head, bro. Like you're not a white person. Like anybody that's traveling the Sahara Desert is gonna have a head cover, something covering them from the fucking heat, bro, and the sun of the Sahara Desert. Whether you're white or you have melanin in your skin. What I'm saying is, if you lived in that environment long enough, obviously you're gonna catch mad sun and you're gonna tan. Yeah. And I'm saying, is that an evolved state because you're not? I don't
think that's an evolved state. I think that evolved
it's an adapted state. Because I feel like you are at a different level because your body is literally like, yo, we need protection from this. And if we're going to be here for a while, this is what we're going to do. And you don't have say in that matter, but you've adapted to that environment. So I'm saying the same thing is possible in a cold environment. All I'm saying is whether you're black or white, if you're in a cold environment, I think your body can make the same type of adaptation. Now, would you call that evolution or mutation?
I think evolution and mutation is a level up. I think evolution and mutation is a level up because you're right. Humans can do some different stuff over time. Like they can morph their bodies over time, shit too. But like I think evolution that's a different level of understanding. That takes a lot more time. So,
but do you think evolution can be forced?
Yes.
How would you force evolution?
I think that by with technology that they have or that they're gonna be able to have, maybe like in the testing that they're doing, I think that you can alter, you know what I mean, like genes, and that you can alter these things, and that can cause for different evolutions in different environments. You feel me?
So
like,
you're talking about in terms of like gene splicing, like in early development, like changing certain aspects of DNA.
Yeah.
I'm talking more in terms of like,
or something like along those lines. Like I don't
focus
know,
group, but like over a period of time, like with what I imagine was in terms of like forcing evolution is like forcing a certain, I guess, species of animal to be in an environment that it's not comfortable being in, but forcing it to be there. And
to see how it evolves.
Yeah, but it would be like, so for example, like evolution is mostly like a life cycle thing. Like it happens.
It comes out of necessity. It comes from necessity.
If you put an animal in an environment that's not comfortable in, it's probably gonna die quicker. But also, it will start intelligently thinking of better ways to adapt to the environment. And then I think that information, because that's what I'm trying to think. Like, where does evolution come from? Like, because what happens is, like, think about the Ice Age, right? When the Ice Age came and went, there was an evolution in animals. Like, you literally had to evolve or die. And then the same thing, it got warm again, and it was just as catastrophic. So, when you think about like that information where, like, you're like, okay, I have to adapt here. How can I adapt? And then that information gets passed down. Does that information, like, is the will to adapt in that information that you gathered, like, after you, like, died and it gets passed down? Like, how does that work? Because that's dope to me. Like, because imagine, like, if you weren't intelligent as an animal, you wouldn't be able to think, like, oh, well, you know, if I had better fur, I would be able to adapt in this cold environment.
It just happens.
Any animal would be able to think, like, yeah, if I had more fur, it would be much easier in this environment. And then, like, down the line, 8 generations down, your ancestors, well, because ancestors is past, so your seed, whatever, progenitors, whatever your kin have, like, better fur. So, like, how does that, like, bro, like, do you wish for better fur for, like, mad generations, and then, like, one generation comes and you're like, yes, the polar bear with better fur, like,
in the natural sense, like when we're talking like real world, like animals and stuff like that, those are the ones that survive. You feel me? So like and
they reproduce.
For giraffes, the ones with the longer necks are the ones that get the females because they can get the food, they can get the stuff, right? So they got that reach. So their kids that they have, they're gonna breed
45 yards away.
Yeah, they gonna be breeding. You feel me? And their kids are gonna be longer. But also, it's that adaptation of what is the perfect length, because there's giraffes fight with their necks too. Mm-hmm. So when they're fighting with their neck, if one length, it could be too long, or your body hasn't evolved for it to be bigger, for it to be able to withstand, and for that. Damn. You feel me? So like, it's a natural. There's a necessity there's a need to evolve, so you do evolve. You
feel me? If giraffes, like, because I think evolution for a lot of animals is just getting smarter. Like, because the giraffes started doing neck ups, bro. Like with tree branches. Like, if we're being real, like if it put its neck on a tree branch, like in front of a tree branch, and just worked on moving the tree branch back and then forward, and like it really worked out its neck, bro, it's undefeated in every battle that it ever comes across. The only giraffe, like imagine there's one smart ass giraffe doing like neck exercise. Because think about how much muscle must go into a giraffe's neck. Now think about if you worked out every muscle group in that neck, bro. I'm talking lower neck, middle neck, and you can't forget the upper neck. But nah, for real, like imagine you really work your neck out, and like, cause I'm imagining like in the like the alpha, beta, and below like giraffe society like world, like there's a fight club, like they get together, they fight, the two best giraffes probably fight. So I wonder, do they do neck ups, or are they just like they're just been in so many fights that like their neck is just mad strong?
It's nimble. It's able to move out the way. They're smart.
I think if you give them a little bit more intelligence, they're gonna start figuring out different things to do with their neck, and it's gonna be niggas like because I look at Ja Morant like coming into the NBA, it's like a new breed of NBA player. Yeah. So it'll be like a different athlete. A new breed of giraffe. Yeah, the crooked neck giraffe. You ain't never, like what?
I couldn't imagine. That'd be so dope, like a society where it's like completely run by how smooth you are, pause, with like how if you're with the neck, like is your neck strong? Yeah. Like your neck has a different adaptable abilities. If you could do 40
the
neck
giraffe
ups,
BNS, big neck society, yes sir. The mafia, it's the giraffe mafia BNS.
Oh word. They're coming out hard.
They're coming out strong.
They're coming out big body.
Can I get a piece of this?
Yeah. Of nice Orbit gum. We were having a conversation earlier, so about what is the biggest gum? What's the biggest gum company? Because like there are so many. So you said what?
Big League Chew is the best gum.
You said Big League Chew. I've never had that.
By far the best gum of all time. Because it's like chewing animal fat that's flavored like bubble gum.
Can you look it up?
It doesn't go away.
Can you show me what this looks like? Because like I don't think I've ever had this. Big League Chew.
You have. You know you had it when we were playing baseball in like 8th grade.
That's the best gum. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
I actually want to buy some now.
Yeah.
Because like you don't have any. Like, I'm actually going to start buying some on, like, Amazon. Because, like, that's the best
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Whether you're blowing bubbles, chewing it, bro, just the experience.
Just the experience. I've only had it twice. Only had it twice. That has to be... But I don't think that's a gum that most people regular day use.
I agree. But you asked the best gum, and that's my opinion.
So, what's the biggest gum? What's, like, the biggest gum, then? I feel like it's a pretty diversified market.
I think what you were saying with Trident is true. Because when Trident came out with Trident Layers
was different.
The game on lock, bro.
Lock. You weren't touching them.
Because Trident had mint, and mint has always been locked down.
Mint, yeah.
But when they had the layers, bro, they took a little piece of that fruit market, bro.
They did.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Hubba Bubba was like our like fruit gum. It was like Hubba Bubba and like mint gum.
Mint gum. 5. We were saying 5. 5 gum.
5 spearmint gum was big.
5 spearmint gum. Solid.
Still big.
Solid. Solid. You're getting solid gum on that.
Still solid.
You definitely are. What's the name of the gum with the yellow and blue wrapper? You know what I'm talking about?
Yellow and blue. Ooh. Bubble. I think that's like...
You know what I'm talking about? Like the OG one that you get during the holiday.
Yeah.
During Halloween.
And they're always dry as shit.
They're always dry, but they are...
But they're good.
For 2 minutes.
You get a good... Yeah.
Only 2 minutes.
But if you get a good amount of... Juicy... No, not juicy fruit.
Nah. Juicy fruit, that was big. I hated Big Red, bro. Why?
It's so good, man.
Why? Why do you need that? Like I'm trying to have
like a big red ass.
I know this man is a big red man for sure. He would like having it. So if people asked, Big Red, enjoy it.
You want some Big Red?
Enjoy it.
People would be like, I don't want no more, man. I don't want no gum from you.
If you a Big Red type, bro, chiclets.
Nah, you know what was worse though? The Big Red gum that wasn't Big Red. Like, cause Big Red was the good one. Like, if you're gonna get some cinnamon gum, Big Red was like, if the others were if I'm getting cinnamon gum, then that's valid. But I'm talking like the pellets. Like, they tried to do like Big Red and like, yeah, like, oh no, because they're broken up into like 20-minute increments, and like, you always see like, you like the 2 seconds missed between.
Yeah, 2 seconds missed in between. It's so funny. I love it though.
Like, I remember, I think it was one of them in the middle of some argument or some shit, and like, I think I like stood up and like sat down in the time like we had started it back. So like part of like what I said was just like off camera. I don't even remember what it was, but I think like it was just a complete change of conversation. I was like, damn, I missed the ending. Like, cause I really don't. I just not that I don't remember what we talked about, but like seeing it again is different.
It is so different. Whenever I get like back to the crib, my girl's like, hey yo, how's the podcast? Like, what y'all talk about? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, word.
Like, I have no clue. I'm here. I'm so present. I'm so cognizant. But like, when you ask me what I talked about, like, this is conversation. Like, yeah, it's so like, it's just like I'm talking with my boys. Like, we're chilling. Like, so I'm not even.
And that's why I think like I think that this is dope. That's why I fuck with podcasts. Cause
so I love
for the most part, when I have conversations too, like I don't remember the conversation. Like, unless there was something like specific to remember about the conversation. Yeah. Now it's just like, yo, you can see like, yo, look into the conversation, like how you. It's also like coaching. Like you can look at yourself, have a conversation. Yeah. And it's like, yo, like, well, how do you look having a conversation? And it's not something that a lot of people don't even think about.
Mm-hmm. I think also it's really good because podcasting is really good, but like just being able to see yourself and critique yourself is really good because if you don't have that, it's just gonna be so normal in your head. it's weird to hear how you sound when you talk. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean?
Word.
It's like sometimes when you hear yourself talk, you're like, oh, I said that? Like, that's how it sounded? Like, and you could be like, oh, I didn't even mean it. You get used to it for sure, but you realize certain mannerisms that you have. You feel me? Like, so some people, like, you know, the people, like, everyone got their own little niche. The people that touch their face a lot, the people that, like, do some whatever.
Yeah, and things that you don't even really notice.
You don't even notice, but when you see it over time, then you're like, oh, I can't have that. Or the people that...
it's something to be cognizant about. Like,
it's something to be cognizant. Or the people that when they're talking, they say like and a lot. When you recognize that, then you could use that to be the I could change.
No, and to be able to like really notice it, like to really see how many times you say and like, because you don't really think about it until somebody points it out to you. And even when in everyday use, it's not like people are only pointing it out to you when they're annoyed with it. And then you think about that the last 5 minutes that you've said like a lot, that if you're getting a 20-minute conversation and seeing every 20 minutes, like the whole 20 minutes of it, and how many times you say like you really get to see like, wow, like I say this a lot.
Question for you. Do you think when people are talking, they think about what they're going to be saying? Do you think that they really stress
it's a mix.
The thoughts around the exact words that they're saying?
Well, so for me, I'm the type of person where I purposely don't put energy towards things that don't require energy. Like, so I won't think heavily about a response to something that doesn't require heavy thinking. Okay. So like if we're talking about, or also another example is if we're talking about something that's also complex, what I'll most likely do is pinpoint what I want to respond to, because there's something in there that's the most interesting to me and that I want to talk about. Okay. So I'm more so thinking or looking for something that piques my interest the most, and that's what I'm going to respond to, because that's what like who I am as a person. Like I don't put energy to things that I don't really care about. So if you're talking and I'm going to formulate a response, it's going to be whatever I find most interesting. But like outside of that, to answer what you were saying, I think that most people don't really think like that. It's like, it's more so like they don't formulate a response. It's a mix. Like if you're talking to me and it's a conversation, like I know that I'm going to respond to you because we're in the middle of a podcast. But like if it's small talk, like, and you're saying, oh, hey, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Like I don't have to think much about that. But I could think a lot about that and be like, oh, I had the best chocolate eclair with a cappuccino. I had a little bit of milk. Like I could get into it, but like, that doesn't have.
Did you say chocolate eclair?
Right. Like,
did you know what a chocolate eclair was? Nate, do you know what a chocolate eclair is?
Oh, I didn't have.
I had no idea what a chocolate eclair was until
it's like the straight donut with the cream in it.
Yeah. I never knew what it was until like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
And I saw it and I was like, but in conversation of like the eclair having been bought throughout the day, it seemed to have been just some novel. Like everyone was. It's like, oh, you got a chocolate eclair.
So you never knew what it was?
But I never knew what it was. And I was
just hilarious. That's really funny.
What is a chocolate eclair? And yo, let me tell you,
it's not a novelty item you can get at the bakery. It's like $1.99, bro.
Yeah, I had never heard of it. And the one that we got was from this place called Shout Out Miller Farms in Clinton, Maryland. It's crazy.
Shout out Miller Farms, Clinton, Maryland.
Shout out Miller Farms.
Nothing about y'all, but my man's fucking.
When I tell you they have like the best donuts and pastries, like cosign, like they legit.
Word.
The eclair was like $6. It was a foot long.
Word.
Melted chocolate all over.
Put the whole thing in your mouth, huh?
Pause. And no, I don't like chocolate. I'm not a chocolate fan. No, I don't like chocolate.
Why?
Whoever made me knew what they were doing with
I don't like chocolate in big amounts. But I'm a fan of chocolate like when I haven't had it in a while, and like I like there's something with like a good chocolate, like a good a chocolate lava cake, like that's extreme chocolate. But like if I haven't had chocolate in a while and someone's like, hey, you want a chocolate lava cake? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want a chocolate lava cake. But then I won't have any more chocolate for a while. And also like chocolate candies, like I'll only eat a quarter of a Hershey's bar, and then like I could throw the rest of it out because I probably won't touch it for the rest of the while, or I'll give it to somebody else.
Okay, so for me, I've thought about this a lot because everyone says, "Oh, what?" So the band of non-chocolate lovers, I'm with you. Like it's a hard life out there.
Shout out to the band of non-chocolate lovers.
Yo, it's a hard life out there when every time you say you don't like chocolate, they gotta ask, "Why don't you like chocolate?"
You should.
I don't know. Like why? Like
you should just ask back. Why do you like chocolate?
No,
because you don't give a fuck.
The answer is I'm not gonna say that because why, but also the answer to that is it's chocolate. Like yeah, all right, like what?
It's chocolate.
It's chocolate. But for me, this is the breakdown. Chocolate's not fun to me. When I eat chocolate, it's not, the taste doesn't do anything for me. I think the taste is kind of boring. And like, I am a sweet type of person, and I say that to people, and people are like, you really don't like chocolate? I'm like, I taste the taste. I don't think that it's special. I hate that it has the hype. So because I have no, like, I don't care for chocolate, it's like,
it's so hyped up.
I hate that it's hyped. I hate that chocolate has its own, like, foothold in the foot industry.
Yeah, fuck you, cocoa plant. Nobody likes you.
Yeah, nah. The cocoa plant, you can...
Wait, so how do you feel about hot chocolate?
I respect what it does for the people, but I don't like it. Like...
What it does for the people?
You know how people love, like...
The chocolate people.
You know, like, I think it's cool that hot chocolate is a thing that you can have for the holidays. So you really like advance people together. I'm like, hot chocolate, you did a good job.
There, bro. You lost me there. Hot chocolate is bust down.
I don't like
top
it,
five.
But I don't like it.
Top 5 hot beverages.
Hot cider's better. Hot cider's better.
Bro, okay, you can...
I'm biased. I don't like chocolate. See, but I'm honest about it. I don't like chocolate.
Here's a question I have.
I do like Oreos though.
Here's a question I have because I'm a responsible human being and an adult, actually. 23. You can say you're an adult in 23, right?
No, I don't think so.
No? So what am I? A young adult still?
Young adult.
So I'm a young adult. That's why I'm giving this information before I say it. After you told me that hot cider was better than hot chocolate, my first reaction, which as a rational human being I didn't say, was to tell you to kill yourself. Because that's a joke that I make. Because I know you're not going to kill yourself. And I know that anybody that would kill themselves, I know that they know that I wouldn't want them to do that.
He's being very PC right now.
But, what are your feelings on that statement? Like, because I feel like I should be able to go out and just be able to say that, like, as a joke. Like, if I disagree with you, I should be able to go out.
What are my feelings on the statement of kill yourself?
Yeah, no. Like, how do you, like, what do you feel like? Do you think that that's, because I look at that as taboo. Like, you can't say that to somebody without backlash from somebody in the room. Yo. Most likely multiple people saying, you can't tell him that. Suicide is a problem in America. What if he really goes and, or she really goes and kills himself?
Yo, for real, this is my look on just language in general, right? When you're talking, you know, obviously you have to tailor your language to who it is that you're talking to. Like, if I'm in a...
Know your audience.
You have to know your audience. If I'm in a professional setting, I'm going to make sure that my conversation, how I speak, how I articulate myself, and how I uphold myself is gonna be on point. But if I'm with my boys and I chat shit all the time, like, you know what I mean, I like to be expressively stupid and funny and whatever. Like, I curse and I speak vulgarly. If the setting is right and if you're with the right people, nothing you say should be taken in any negative way. Like, because in my mind, like, I know, like, when we talking, right, you have no malintentions in what you're saying. You feel me? Like, so...
The only reason why I brought that up because it's the podcast.
Yeah.
And why I wanted to have this conversation.
Yeah. So, like, for me, like, and you can't even understand the vibe of something, of the vibe of a room where you're talking. Like, that's what's cool about podcasts is whether or not the individual has that, like, you like them enough where you feel you like the vibe that they're sending out through it, but also at the same time, like, you're not there, so like you couldn't understand like exactly the charismatic things that go with it. So like, I wouldn't feel comfortable making a comment on something that someone said in a podcast as a joke, especially if I know that they didn't mean it like that. Like, I'm never gonna take it out of craziness.
So here's to bring it back, because it's the same conversation, just to bring it back to what the point I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
When you're in a setting that you don't know who's in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I hate the fact that you have to censor yourself when you don't know who's there. Because like me as a human being, like, I know that rationally thinking, because where I'm going in life is going to be the point where I'm going to be in these situations where I'm going to be like, kill yourself, bro, and people are going to get mad at me and be like, oh, fuck you, you're terrible. But like, that's because like I'm not going to be reliant on anybody else. Like, I'm not gonna have a job and be like, you're fired now because you had this terrible situation on the news. Like, I'm gonna just be making money so I can do these type of things. But what I'm saying is, I think it's stupid how you have to censor yourself, or like, everyday citizens, like if you have a job or like you're known in society or you have a certain status, like you have to censor yourself and certain things that you would be saying just to I guess satisfy societal standards. Like you can't say whatever you want and provoke uncomfortable conversations or feelings because society doesn't want you to. I think that you should be able to just say whatever the fuck you want, and like if you feel uncomfortable about it and you don't voice that, then you're just an uncomfortable little bitch. And you get to be uncomfortable by yourself. And if you're really uncomfortable about it, then fucking say something about it. And then maybe something will happen from it. Maybe you'll make them feel bad, or they'll make you feel bad, or you guys both find the truth in it and you go about your day and make it better. But like I feel like I hate that instead of those uncomfortable little interactions, society's just like, we don't want that, don't do it. Like it's just don't do it. It's not right. We'll tell on you. You'll be canceled. I hate that shit. I really do hate it. Because I think that from those uncomfortable conversations come like, so in terms of like what we're talking about information and evolution, like the information gained from those conversations will probably evolve us so much faster. But instead we're like denying uncomfortable conversations and interactions. And I think we're actually holding ourselves back. So fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking
to nobody. Yeah, like that's at nobody direct. It's just fuck you.
I was talking to my man's literally today. My barber cut my hair. Shout out Rich.
Shout out Rich.
Rich is the homie. And we were saying how people are some downright bitches nowadays, like
pussies,
like straight up like bitches, because they take anything that you say or that they hear and try to look at it in the most negative of light, put the worst spin on things, and you see it happen and you're just like, "Ayo, bro,
that's what everybody does."
Chill, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. And you know, onto like I have two ideas, like two like ways of thinking in terms of the saying whatever it is that you want to say, right? On one hand, the reality of the situation, you know, people are people and society is society, so you got to know how to move with the waves, with the tides of the river.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So
I agree with that.
You got to be smart with that. But also at the same time, I completely understand the want, desire, and the doing of saying whatever it is that you want with no filter, because I said what I said. And if you in a situation around people that everyone in the collective group of the conversation is cool, knows what you mean, and is having it, you shouldn't be pressed about it by someone else that wasn't there, who has not even business being in the convo.
Absolutely.
And
but wants to be.
That really wants to be, but they weren't. They're like, oh, I wish I was there because I would have said this. And like, if you don't have my phone number, and if you can't contact me, there should be no reason why you have an issue with me, beef with me, and something that I'm involved with that you're not. Because
but then also
you got your own stuff to worry about, bro. Like, come on.
But also, I guess the opposite part of that is a lot of people, because of how society is made and built today, you have to go through like hurdles. So like in terms of like a podcast, if you're gonna release it to the public, then you have to be open to scrutiny because of the platform that you're using.
Agreed.
So I think actually we should.
You have to know though.
Like a project should be a platform
to know.
where it's like. But also I think people like it. Like the ability to react and respond to things, whether it's good or bad, and see those responses, like that's entertaining to people so much so they'd rather have that than not have it.
Yo, may I just say, so I think that if you introduce anything into the world, right, that you should be willing to accept what that means and all the things that come with it. So if I'm introducing art into the world, if I'm introducing a podcast, music, something creatively, whatever it is, writing, anyone should be able to use it any way that they want it, because I'm releasing into the world. Like, I was inspired by the world, you know what I mean? I'll let the world be inspired by me and whatever it is that we're putting out. Shout out Cole. J. Cole said that.
Shout out to Cole.
That's his word.
Cole World.
And on that point, if I'm making content, I have commentary is another form of content. Yeah. So I have to be accepting of the content that people make off my content. If commentary is what they do, then like that's whatever it is that you do on that.
There are people that are literally famous off of responses.
Off of responding to things.
Like they have good comments, and people literally follow them because their comments are so good. And
or
people
funny,
look for
or
those
stupid, or
like people are literally like, what was it, Daquan? Like on Instagram, like if Daquan commented on your shit, like it was a white boy acting like I don't know if he was white, but it was just a non-black person named Daquan, very popular meme account. Everybody knew who it was. If like they shouted you out or you commented on that person, like if they commented on your picture, like people are like, oh shit, Daquan's here. And like there are people that get famous because of how known they are and because of like that's part of their job. Literally, like you can have a job of just being a social media influencer. Like that's the thing. And even influencer doesn't even mean like, oh, like I'm an influencer because I do Gymshark, I do workout videos and stuff. Like you can be an influencer, like you can make memes, you can do like Rick and Morty paintings. And like be an Instagram personality, and like there's so many different ways that you can like actually use that to make money and reach different people in different markets. It's actually it's so dope if you A, know what you're doing, and B, you're very established and you have a good network. But it's pretty shitty if you're just an everyday user. But also everyday users don't use it for the same things. Like it's like social media, like what it's actually supposed to be used for, and what people that use it correctly use it for is dope. But everyday users use it for just a completely different thing that it's turned into. Like that's actually, I look at it as very negative, which is just like envy pool, like a pool of envy.
Well, you know, when you're gonna make it into this in the social media realm and like that state, you gotta get the market. You gotta know your market. You gotta know whatever niche, whatever need that you're satisfying, whatever thing, like grouping that you fall into.
Yeah.
You have to understand what it is. Direct yourself towards that and be able to provide whatever it is that you want to provide towards that. If you whatever it is that you're providing is a evolution to that thing, then that's also another thing. But you have to be directed in what it is that you know you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I feel like that's a big thing, like in terms of, you know, marketing, like talking to like those people on social media.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. and especially with hashtagging, it makes it so easy to like target specific areas and like groups of people. So it's actually like, bro, it's crazy. Like that's one of the things that I'm excited for. Like, because when we actually gain more traction for the podcast and we have a bigger social media presence, it'll be easier to like directly focus on certain like hashtags and groups of people in terms of like getting guests on or like even just using hashtags to get responses from certain groups of people, bro. It's crazy.
For me, I want this podcast to be in a position where, and I want myself as well as like my company to be in a position where if we reach out to a community, we could learn from that community.
Word.
And we could get the true stuff from the community. We could talk about it and be like, all right, cool. And we're known and we're respected enough to know that they're genuine about it. It's like, dang, like it has been confirmed. These are genuine people. They have genuine interest in whatever it is this is. You feel me? And then also it's that like spread of word. It's like they know other communities. So like I want to be able to have someone like a guest on this podcast that is into a complete other niche, gets us interested in something else that we have never even thought about. While at the same time, they see shit and then they show other people, you know, oh, you might like talk to this person. You know what I mean? And see where it goes from there.
Bro.
Meeting new people is the best. Like
it is, and it's the easiest way to just gain information.
To just learn, like you don't know. We say this all the time. Like you don't know, like what you don't know. You don't know the unknown variables.
And that's why I say it's the easiest way to get information because you don't know what people know.
You don't know what the conversation is going to become.
If it's a book, you know what the book is about. You know what the book, like if it's a textbook, you have a textbook. You know what you're going to learn in this textbook. If a person, you say, if I refer you to somebody, like if I refer you to a foot doctor, and that foot doctor is also like a computer programmer, and like on the background does app development,
different,
and you make a connection,
different life.
Never would have thought that could happen, but you can't do that with a fucking book.
Yeah.
But a network, you get a network of people together, you get the right people in the right room, you can get some shit done.
That's why networks is really important, though. That's why
shout out networks.
Shout out networking. I mean, at that point, it's shout out your circle, right? Because when you're networking, you're trying to find the people that you get along with well.
Facts.
That you're like, we can have a relationship that is cool. I enjoy having your company. We enjoy hanging out, but also at the same time, we have this understanding of let's do something. Let's make it profitable for both of us. That's what a network is. A circle and like the homeboys are a little bit different because when you're part of the family, that's just that genuine connection. Like
it's more so spending money when you're with like it's and see your family can be on both sides. I think you can be in business with your family, but it's also,
tough. I think that's difficult to do. It's great to do if you can do it. Like the Kardashians having the business that they have with their family.
But it's also you get to see, and you see also the like the negative side of it is like people know when you're beefing with like your sister. Yeah. Which is like ridiculous. Like nobody needs to know that. But like that's the world that they live in and that they've perpetuated. So that couldn't be me.
That's so annoying.
Which is why I wouldn't necessarily want to mix it. Probably. But like I would.
Could you imagine if like you woke up one day and like mad people are hitting you up and everyone's talking about how like you are in an argument with your mom and you're like, I haven't even talked to my mom in 2 days. Like, what are you even talking about?
That's an old episode, Abby.
Yeah. And like,
from a week ago.
It's from like 3 months ago, and then like you get worried, and then you hit up your mom, and then your mom's not answering your phone, and then you're just like, did I do something? Like, what the heck? Like,
now you're
leave people alone. Yeah, now you're just in another situation you never thought you'd have to be in. Like, if you're driving and people are following you in your car because they know who you are. What?
That's mad annoying.
Taking pictures of you.
It's like, is that Kylie Jenner? Let's follow her.
It can't be a high. Like, it has to be a. I need to know
where is she going.
I need to know
what you're doing. Why? What products are you buying?
What is going through your head right now? I need to know what it is that you are trying to get.
People want to be just like her, bro.
People can't even live their own lives. Like,
nope.
It's
people would rather live other people's lives than live their own. I think that's that's the root of a lot of America's problems.
Well, I think that's just because people aren't happy with themselves, but that's also because people don't put in the work to make themselves incrementally better. Like the idea of 1% better every day is flawless. Like it's known. If you work towards something, even if it's a grueling task and you're very upset at it, like 1% every day, it will change, guaranteed. I tell you.
And that's the bare minimum.
That's the bare minimum.
Like, if you can do 1% every day, you're doing amazing.
You know what 1% every day means? That means that 20% of the day, it is conscious on your mind, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You're mentally thinking about it all the time, and you're aware about it, and that's what it is. 20%.
Not bad.
It's in the background. That it becomes subconscious. At some point, you're internally you're thinking about it and not thinking about it. It just takes the time and the effort. And one we wanted to talk about like do lazy people know that they're lazy? I don't know. I don't think that lazy people know that they're lazy, and I just think it's because like
how that conversation work.
And I don't think lazy people know that they're lazy. Maybe because maybe they block it out. It's like, I don't want to be lazy. I can't accept that I'm lazy because then that's such a negative idea of myself that I can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like
But then that's the first stage of
denial.
Yeah, denial.
But a lot of people are in denial, and then that denial is then shadowed by caring what other people are doing because you don't want to be on your own stuff.
People layer their problems.
Yeah, you don't want to be thinking about one problem, so you just think about something else, and then you make a big deal about something else that doesn't matter. Like
you don't want to think about the fact that you're lazy.
Yeah.
So what do? You fill your time with things that probably promote your laziness, that take your mind off of your laziness, because it can't be good because then you wouldn't be lazy anymore. So you're doing things that are probably detrimental to whatever goals you have in life, and at that point, you're in stagnation. You're not doing anything in your life. So I think that I think lazy people either don't know that they're lazy or they don't care that they're lazy. Because
it's one or the other. It's one or the other. I mean, those are the only two options. There's only one or the other.
Because you can't, if you either don't know or you don't care. Or you're, because why would you willingly be lazy? Because I guess willful laziness isn't laziness. Because I think willful laziness is just relaxation. If you're willingly lazy, you're just relaxing.
But people say that that if you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. Is that considered lazy? If it's like
it's comfort looked at as, because I see this all the time in my household.
Yeah.
Like if I'm comfortable and I'm just chilling, I'm having a relaxing day. It seems like my parents think I'm doing absolutely nothing, which is not the case. But I can see why they would think that. Like if you're coming downstairs, like if I'm in my bed, right? And I'm just comfortable, like, because this is what I do, like, every day. Mm-hmm. It seems like I'm doing absolutely nothing, bro. In my bed, I'm literally just comfortable as hell, relaxing. I probably don't have a shirt on. Looks like I've just been in bed all day. But if all you see me is 3 or 4 times a day, and you come downstairs and you see me in the bed just chilling, like with my phone in my hand, it looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing. So it looks like I'm being lazy and I'm doing absolutely nothing. So like at the end of the day, like I don't blame people for seeing somebody as lazy and being like, oh, like you're a lazy person. And if that person is actually being lazy, like you're really doing nothing all day and you're wasting your time, that's another story. That's really a whole other story. Like if you're doing absolutely nothing throughout the day, because I think it's hard to be lazy. I think you have to purposely be being lazy. Because like think about like even when you're being lazy, you have to be thinking that you're making progress in something. Like, if I'm being lazy, I'm at least playing video games, getting better at a video game. Like, I'm being lazy, like, what is lazy? Like, define laziness. Okay, like, what if I'm playing the video game and, like, I really just don't care about it? Is that being lazy?
All right. I got you right now. So, what if, and going off of laziness in general, right? So, what if would you say that this is a fair assessment of lazy is, like, watching TV a lot of the days and just social media being...
But what are you watching on TV?
Huh?
What are you watching on TV?
You're watching... Even if it's a show, like you're watching like a fun show, it could be an anime for.
But what's your occupation?
Huh?
What's your occupation?
So your job doesn't. So, and that's also the thing though. Is it laziness if it's like you work a decent amount? Mm-hmm. You're like, you're like you're good. Like life, laziness. like if your life is good mm-hmm. and you work however much you got to work to be able to. And then the rest of the time you justify it with it being, I need to rest because I don't want to do anything else because that's what... Is that laziness or is that understood?
Is that hatred of your job though? Like, because you have a job, like if you have a job or you're making money, because you have to be making money somehow. It's just how the world works for the most part.
I don't know. I think that's another avenue. Like, because thinking about hatred of job. That's
what I'm saying is if you have to be lazy outside of your job, what does that say about your job? Because you're like, okay, you finish your job and you're like, okay, I can't do anything that focuses anything remotely on anything close to this. I have to go and be lazy now because that's what I've earned. Like me, I think that if you have a job, like if you're working a job that you dislike and that outside of your job is nothing, that like there are no connecting factors. Like why do you have that job? Why are you working it? And if it's just for money, then you're living a shitty life regardless. So laziness is the least of your problems. And if it's the opposite and like you enjoy your job and then outside of it you're just being lazy, I think that like if you enjoy your job then you're really not being lazy. You're probably still working just in a different way. Because like when you talk about TV, that's why I ask your occupation. Like it could be a show. So for me, like I watch a lot of Rick and Morty, Futurama, and things that are funny but also have like good content that like good creative content.
Yeah.
Because I'm a creative, I also pull from those ideas and put it into my own art. Because that's why. So you may come down and see me watching something that may look lazy to you because your job is a school teacher. Like you can't take big chunks of your day watching funny cartoons, and to you that is lazy because of your occupation. So I think it's all relevant. I mean, relative to like perception. And occupation and different things like that. Because like if you enjoy your job, then because I enjoy my job, what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, that's not laziness to me. That's work.
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing that. Like it's work that I love doing. So like I look at that as work, like I'm doing work. But you may look at it, oh, you're being lazy. But I'll probably make more money off the work that I did in the long run because I've now opened a lot of connections. I have a bunch of things that I can pull from in my past that I've seen that I can now bring up in conversation, in comedy, in acting, like references and in rapping. Like I can pull from a lot of shit. So you may look at it as being lazy. I look at it as building, content.
Profit off all your passions.
Absolutely.
That's a bar.
Profit
here.
Be passionate about what you do in life.
Profit off all your passions.
Facts.
Because when you profit off all your passions,
mm-hmm.
that's when you're going to be finding yourself in a happy life. If you can figure out how to do what you want to do or do the things that you're interested in and make money out of it, that's the sweetest thing.
It's my friends, unlimited energy.
Bro, my friends that love taking photos who get hired to just go to photo shoots and get paid, loving life, see different things all the time. Because of it, they have the energy to do other things, whatever. My friends that do video or really whatever, like when you're doing something that you're passionate about and then you end up being, if you do something you're passionate about you work harder at it,
which
means that you get better at it.
You're interested in it.
You're interested in it,
and you want to get better at it because you want to.
Want to advance because you're interested. You're interested in what diving deeper means in terms of the form of whatever it is that you say.
You have a self-made reasoning,
and then eventually you get good enough where. And you can make money off of it because there's a market for anything. So like if you get good enough, you never do something that you're good at for free.
And also, I think the problem with a lot of people in when I talk about envy and the Instagram thing, I think that like in the connection with this, the connection is a lot of people see things that they want to do, and when they start doing it, they realize that they're not that good at it, which is obviously the case for most things.
They don't want to do the work.
But when you see something that you really want, like there's a lot of instant gratification, which I think comes from social media. So like, you see your favorite football player, you're like, okay, I want to be amazing at football, and then you start doing football, and you're like, oh, this is hard. If you really wanted to be a football player, you're not thinking, oh, this is hard. You're thinking, oh, is this what it takes to become a football player? What am I gaining from this? But a lot of people get caught in feelings of, oh, this is hard, I don't want to do this. Because in the beginning, they didn't even want to be a football player. They wanted the things that the football player had, which is because they were envious. And that's where, like, bro, I bridge this gap, and it's so stupid, which is, like, human psychology. I don't know if it's just America or global, but it's, like, that's what I hate. Like, I see a lot of people, like, we're talking about Kim Kardashian, and the Kardashians, Kylie Kardashian, and people always want to know where you're going, what you're doing, what products you're using, because people want to be just like you. They're envious of you. They don't even, it's not even about living a life that you live. They just want to be you because of what they want to have what you have. They want people to follow them like they follow you. But they don't realize you can't be a clone. Like there's no, like you can't be the next Kylie Jenner. The next Kylie Jenner isn't Kylie Jenner. The next Kylie Jenner is doing some other shit that people follow her like Kylie Jenner. It's not even the same person because it doesn't work that way. But it's like people want the same shit like that Odell Beckham Jr. has as a receiver. Like, oh, I want you see his nice luscious hair. Look, I bet the girls love him. And the girls love, I want his dick. Oh, I bet it. Look at his abs. Oh, I want a person just like Odell Beckham. But that I'm saying like, bro, I'm just, all right, you can pause that. Pause. Yellow card. I agree. But I'm really I'm poking at the psychology of it is like, people don't want like a person like Odell Beckham Jr. Like they don't want any receiver that's good at football they want Odell Beckham. They want Odell Beckham because or somebody that has that same like they what I'm saying is that idea of envy, idea. Like they need that.
Well, for me,
it's not really the case.
When I look at that, I think you see that happen all the time because what's easier for me to look at someone else be happy and try to get happiness from their happiness, or for me to go have self-reflective moments, look into myself, be honest with myself, and put myself in the situations that stretch out my comfort circle. Because like when you step out of the box enough times, your box gets bigger. Like that's just, it's what happens. Like that's what the idea of comfortability is. Eventually you adapt and you find yourself in a different like environment that you're now comfortable in. So when you don't do that,
you basically just stay in your comfort zone.
And you stay in your comfort zone.
You don't move on.
You just go and watch what they do, and you're gonna think to yourself, "That's so cool. I want that because in my mind, that's making them happy, which means that'll make me happy too."
And then you get stuck in the cycle.
Instead of being one of the people that succeed in life, which is I know what I like. I know what my passion is. You're trying to follow. They figured it out. And you know what? They don't care about what anyone else thinks about what it is that they're doing because, in their mind, enter with boldness. That's a law, bro.
Got shitted on. Doesn't care. Doesn't bold. That's bold.
I'm not gonna.
Because we don't know if he got shitted on.
Allegedly,
but that's what people are saying. Allegedly, and that's what I'm saying. That's what he's dealing with.
But people, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
that's what he's dealing with. People literally going, "Yeah, Odell Beckham got shitted on," and he's literally like, "Hey, Odell, ooh, PU," like on the street. Like I'm sure, like, bro, you gotta think like he's like ruthless. And that's what I do. That's what if I saw Odell Beckham, I'd be like, "Oh, stinky." Like
that wouldn't be the first thing that came to mind, but like I would be like, "Damn, bro."
Well, because I like fucking with people. I like making people uncomfortable. So like
after like 25 minutes, you'd be like, "Damn, bro, does that really happen?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm talking if I was a kid. If I'm a grown, like now I'm not having that conversation.
If I met Odell Beckham, I would just say, "Hey, bro, you need to sit me on the field because you need to teach me how to catch because what you be doing
Yeah,
is
I'm
different.
trying to.
I need to learn from that man because that
Networking, bro. Networking.
That
like,
catch?
imagine learning. Imagine like learning
the way he did
or
that,
training with Odell Beckham. You feel me?
It would be different. He knows so many intricate things, even to the point of like
professional.
He's a professional. He knows how to put his feet at the proper angle, and it's not even it's knowledge because he's definitely a smart man, and that his football IQ is definitely going to be another
nature, bro.
second. It's so instinctual that it's like you just do it, and it's not even thinking once. Like, I put in the reps, and you look at that, you just gotta be like,
you just know.
Like respect to that because
when it becomes second nature, that's what the point.
That's
is.
your craft.
When it's second nature, then you're working on total
different level. You're like, what else can I do? All right, all this.
Like
is good.
I've got all the basics down. Like what can I do now?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually like tired now. Like I'm actually like pooped out.
I mean, we got shit.
Yeah, no.
Shorty moving too slow, gotta speed it up. Like, what are y'all speaking of? Like, why you so quiet? I'm peeping, love. I ain't doing too much, but I'm creeping up. And it seems like you tiptoe and crawling to speak to me. You should just be with me. I'm trying to flourish and I need your energy. I'm making magic and you could be sitting right next to me, not having sex with me.